Welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to study alert in SwiftUI. So let's start by creating a new file and name it as alert playground. Alerts are used to display information, error, or even ask user about their choice. So let's see how we can use an alert with the help of an example. We are going to have a vstack in here, and then let's just add a button that says maybe transfer funds, and let's just give this button a style of border prominent. Okay, so for the alert we actually need a boolean state to determine whether to show the alert or not. So let's create a new state in here and name it as maybe show alert and set it to false. Now whenever user taps on this button, we are going to change this show alert state from false to positive or from false to true. So just simply toggle the state in here, show alert dot toggle. So yeah, we are all set with the state. And for the actually Swift UI let us show alert by using dot alert modifier. So we can simply use this modifier with our normally it should be used with the parent block. So right now we have this vstack that is the parent of all these hierarchy. So let's just have alert in here, and we actually have two ways to present alert. One of them is an old way. It was for the iOS 13 and 14, and there is another way because this API was updated for iOS 15 and later. So first we are going to look at the iOS 15 and later version. So it begins with this title. I can just write a comment. This is for iOS 15 and later. So for the title we can have here maybe like funds transfer confirmation, and then we have this is presented that is accepting a bool which should be a binding. So we can have in here a dollar sign and provide our state to this binding, and then we have this action block, and we can just press enter for now. So yeah, this is it. We have a very simple and basic alert. And now if you tap on this transfer funds button, you will have your alert. And even though we haven't added this OK button, but we have this by default with the alert. And if you want to add maybe another button, you can inside this action block you can add these buttons. So let's just say we want to say maybe confirm button in here, and you can write your own logic when user confirms whatever action you or whatever choice you have presented. So now we should have this confirm button, and yeah, we can have maybe another button that says maybe uh, delete transaction, like the user is no more interested in this transfer, so they can just altogether delete this new transaction. And now we should have two buttons, and we actually have roles for the buttons when it comes to alert. So we can either use a destructive or either a cancel, because these are the only two roles available. So let's just use destructive role with our delete button. I'm going to type role, and then I can press dot, and we have now these two options. So let's just use destructive, and now if we tap on the transfer funds, you notice that this delete transaction is actually in a red font, and we also have a cancel button with this delete transaction. So this is something default. Like if you use a destructive action or destructive role button, then SwiftUI is going to present this cancel button as well. So this is it, and yeah, so yeah, and if you want, you can actually pass some data into your alert to display information. And let's just first see how we can actually present a message, and then we will go to then we will modify that message to accept data. So first we have to, let's just see how we can add a message. So you just need to select your uh, block, the alert block, and then we are going to type message, and now you can see we already have this completion handler. So just press enter, and we have our message. So for the message we are going to use text, and then we can enter our message. So let's just say, are you willing to transfer funds? And yeah, so now if you tap on your button, you will have this nice message below the title. So yeah, so an alert can have a title, it can have a message, and it can have action buttons. So yeah, and next, let's just see how we can transfer data into our alert to display additional information. And for that, whichever data you are going to use, it should conform to identifiable. So we are going to create a new struct, name it as account, conform to identifiable, and for that we have to provide an ID. So let's just use a random ID for now, and then let's just have maybe amount. So it is going to be an int, and now we can have another state in here, and it should be of type account, and by default it will be nil. And now after this is presented, we can use this account type. So we are going to write presenting, and there is something which accept our data. So we can provide our data, which is this account. So we are going to write an account, and yeah, and now we are going to pause this account in here like this, and also in this block. So now we can use our account with our alert. So now if you tap on your alert, you will notice that you no longer have these buttons and this message block, and this is because our account is still null. So if you are going to pass data to your alert, make sure that it's not null. And in here, before toggling our state, we are going to use an alert. We are going to set this account variable, and in here we can pass the amount, maybe 5,000. And then in here in the message, we can let user know that how much funds they are going to transfer. So we can say that, are you willing to transfer account dot amount funds? So now if you tap on it, you will notice that we have this 5,000 inside our message. So this is how you can present user an alert, and you can pass your additional data to your alerts. So that's it. And yeah, this is for iOS 15 and later. And if you are still targeting iOS 13 and 14, so let's see how we can create an alert for that. So we are going to comment out this alert for now, and we are going to use another alert, and this time we are going to use an alert that accept a binding bool and a content. And a content, you notice that it's an alert type, and it also says that this is actually deprecated in the future version of iOS. That's fine, we already know. So we can just press enter in here, and we already have a boolean state, so we can use show alert in here. And for the content, if you press enter, now instead of a view, it actually accepts an alert. So we are going to create this alert struct, and it further accept these options where we can provide a title, a message, a primary button, and a secondary button. So let's just use a title. A title has a type of text, so we are going to wrap our title inside the text. So let's just say funds transfer confirmation, and then we are going to use a message, and again we have to wrap it inside the text. So let's just say, are you willing to transfer? And yeah, and for the dismiss button, you can actually we have these four options. We can use a destructive button, a default button. You can provide your label and action. You can use a cancel button. So yeah, if you have maybe a button that is not going to cancel the alert, or maybe that is going to execute this transfer, you can use it inside a default, maybe like a confirm. And for now we are just going to use a cancel for the dismiss button, and let's see how it looks. So this is how it looks like, and this version is available for iOS 13 and 14. So yeah, that's it for this alert. And there is one thing, you may notice that we never set this state back to false, because this is automatically handled by the uh, system, by the SwiftUI, by this alert itself. Once this alert is triggered, it set the binding, or it set the state back to false value. So next time we already have a false, we go into and toggle it to true, and we show the alert, and once the alert is visible, it is set back to false. So this is it. If you have anything, let me know in the comments. Subscribe the channel, like the video, and see you in the next one.